I am Medbouger with FandomWire. Jean-Stéphane, Kelly, great to meet you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Nice to meet you as well.
Congratulations on the film. It's really a sensory cinematic experience watching this movie. So congratulations. I always wonder how a project as heavy and realistic as this one can change not only as you see yourself as an artist, but also how you see a landscape in that case a city, New York City. So I was wondering if you see the city differently now, if you have another point of view, because I believe that's what movies can do to us. It opens our mind like this, and it shows us new angles of things that we thought we knew or that we see every day. And thanks to a movie, we're going to see it differently now.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that because, I moved in New York like 15 years ago. I'm French, obviously, with such an accent. And for me, when I
So
see
am I.
you too,
Yeah.
yeah, because Jean-Stéphane is pronounced well. And so for me, when I moved to New York City, I saw this kind of reality of New York that I didn't know because you first come as a foreigner and you have an image of New York, and everybody know New York.
Mm.
And even if they haven't been here, that's the only city in the world that people will say, oh, yeah, I came here and I thought I knew this city because of the cinema. So we have cinema references and stuff. And then I moved to New York and I moved to Bushwick in Brooklyn. And it was kind of 15 years ago. So everyone told me, no, don't go in this neighborhood. It's too dangerous. No one goes there and stuff. I said, I don't know. I'm close by the train. I love this neighborhood. So, and, and, and I wanted really to film this neighborhood. I wanted to film this Brooklyn that we kind of lost. And it's more and more gentrification in this neighborhood. So it's changing. And I thought it was interesting because it's not only the New York from the 80s, 90s with all these references and stuff, but it's also realistic New York. And I say, oh, I love to be here. I love to live in this kind of city and this mix of all the different culture and ethnicity and people and language and stuff. It's a Babel Tower, it's not the US, it's something really different in New York City and really different in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And Asphalt City is based on a book, so this boost and the story was like in the 90s in Harlem, and I thought, but it would be really interesting to show this kind of real and raw and popular New York, these days in Brooklyn
Mhm.
because I think it's something that, yeah, when you see it, you say, okay, I haven't seen that before, and I want to show this kind of part of New York to the audience.
How about you, Kelly? Has it changed your view on New York as well?
I've been in New York, all my life, back and forth, living in New England. You think you know New York, but I think this is an interesting film to show New York's tough, it's gritty, the violence, the real people, realism, the in your face, but this is in your face in a whole different light where, there you get to see the kind of what really goes on behind the scenes. Like, just because it's tough and gritty doesn't mean that crime doesn't affect people in a different way, as far as when, everybody has to call 911 or call the ambulance. Everybody needs medical attention. And I think that's something that people miss with a place like New York City. Like, no, those sirens are for a reason. It's not just because they're going to arrest people. They actually have to help people. New York City is a very community place, and it's a very, everybody cares about one another. When you're on top of each other like that, yeah, you can have confrontation, but you can get very close as a community as well. And you can see the different responses to how the city responds to help. There's some that's very welcoming and need the help. There's some that kind of don't understand it, and it's the panic, you know what I mean? So it has definitely given me a different perspective on not just New York City, just with the paramedics in a whole. Like, whoever is in that type of tough city, like, people still need help. People still need help. People still need medical attention, and people are still kind and willing to help and loving. And you know what I mean? It's a very you can this whole film is a whole experience within itself, for sure.
I know it was shot in 23 days, which is crazy. What did you learn about yourself as a director, Jean-Stéphane? Because I mean, I can't imagine having seen the movie, having seen how much it brings to the audience. Can you just walk me through this crazy experience of 23 days of shooting, intense experience?
23 days, it's chaotic. So I like to shoot in general, with a small crew and long shot and from the beginning until the end and 360. So it was kind of so the opposite to the US system with the union and all this kind of stuff, because in the US is to recreate everything and having a lot of people around and trying to stop, the energy of the city to do a movie. out of the opposite kind of, trying to catch the energy of the city and shooting like this, like in this kind of chaotic and energy of the moment, to capture this. So it was difficult, but I tried to stick to what I like to do and where I feel more comfortable to do as a director, this long shot and stuff. So finally we find a good balance, between the union in the US and the way the film are shooting with professional actors and mixing all my non-professional actors and stuff to create this chaos. And 22 days, every day it's there's something else, happening. So you have to adapt yourself, and to feel, okay, anyway, I have to go and I have 2-3 scenes a day and it has to be done, in this kind of energy, but like kind of the paramedic, they have one night, 7 p.m., 7 a.m. I did this for 2 years. I think it's almost the same kind of filming a movie or being in the back of the ambulance, you have to go and you don't have to think much about it, just try to do the best you can.
And then you landed, exactly, and you landed in Cannes. So I think it was worth it. It was worth the pressure, I guess. So I was at the beginning, I was talking of sensory cinema because this movie, as I said, is a real experience. You can feel it. The lights, the sweat, you can almost smell the blood and the tears in a way. So I was wondering if this was your experience as well, just watching it for the first time, because having directing it and having acting in it, Callie, I was wondering, what was your first experience? Did you feel like it was an immersive experience as well when you first watched it?
Yeah, I mean, I was like taken aback and blown away as how immersive it is as an audience member. And like it's one of those films where, sometimes there's a lull where you kind of can look away or something, you get a little distracted by something else. You just want to know what's going on because everything is at a second's notice. So you feel like you're in the back of the ambulance with them, you're in the passenger seat, you're in the rooms with them, you know what I mean? So I was really entertained and really, it just really grabbed me. I forgot how long it was, you know what I mean? I wanted to know what's going on. What happened with Sean's character, I really was like, oh, I know what's gonna happen, but it's like I love being a part of something and then watching something all put together, and they did an amazing job. The fact that it was done in 23 days is still mind-blowing. So I was really happy to see what the final product looked like.
Mm-hmm. And Jean-Stéphane, would you say that your creative vision is fulfilled, seeing regarding the 23 days of shooting and having this sensory experience of a movie as a result? Would you say that your vision is complete?
I like, I mean, for me, every time I choose and pick up a theme and a movie, I need to be a life experience. And I want for the experience to be also a life experience, or at least, a cinema experience for the audience. And trying to be authentic and realistic and trying to show the reality of this job, reality of New York City, in a more immersive way. And that's why the preparation for me, it's really important, and to really understand really the story you're going to tell and all these characters you're going to portray. And so that's the way I like, when I watch a movie, I like to be into the movie, to be immersed into this kind of world I didn't know before. And trying to understand, what's going on in our world, in our chaotic world,
I know you used you showed with non-actors, and there was a lot of improvisation as well. Kelly, I was wondering, what was that experience like for you? Because as we said, it was a little bit chaotic because of the time restraint, and then being surrounded by these you have professional actors in front of you, and then in the middle of all that, you could also meet people who were actually living these lives. And I think it's just crazy. And I was wondering, what was your experience like for you as an actress?
It was, it was a great experience. It was a great experience to be in a situation where, you have these actors portraying these paramedics, which has a very complicated job, in this very traumatic situation that I was put in. So it was a really good balance of I call it available circumstances. Like it was a chaotic situation. It was a chaotic shoot in all the great ways, but it's also a chaotic story. So it just added to the realism and authenticity of the storytelling. So, it was, it was nice to have real paramedics there, to kind of see their response and so just see how they move, real people, real in the real situation. So it just makes it easier. You don't have to reach so far to understand what's going on in your surroundings. So it was a great experience.
Thank you so much for your time today, and congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
Merci.